Om Sai Ram. Large number of students have contacted me in last few days and they had asked me that how do they stabilize their mind due to lockdown which has resulted in loss of job opportunities, especially for those students who are in the final year. So I thought that I must speak on this topic of lockdown and stress on fresh graduates and postgraduates. The COVID 19 crisis and ongoing lockdown has left students feeling anxious and worried about future as relates to getting the job. As per Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, that is CMI, the employment in urban areas have increased from 8.21% on 15th March to 3.93% on 05th April 2020. That means in just 3 weeks, the unemployment has increased by approximately 23%. And this is going to further increase. By some estimate, it has been found out that about 50 million people have lost their jobs. The students in the final year who were waiting very eagerly to get a job after investing time of 4 to 6 years on post graduation and graduation and spending money to the tune of 6 to 10 lakh rupees. Most of the students had taken education loan for the studies. Experts feel that current crises have brought high stress upon the final year students, and with lockdown not looking to end soon, the emotional challenges will further increase. Now, the question comes is, if that be the case, then how do we deal with this situation? Now, there are two aspects to this. First is the psychological aspect, and second is the analytical aspect. As far as the psychological aspect is concerned, the only option available to us is to stay positive. And as far as the analytical aspect is concerned, we have to carry out the SWOT analysis for the current situation. So first, we will discuss the psychological aspect, that is the positive attitude. What I suggest is dust yourself off, put your dreams together and move forward. Thinking of positive things which are good, honest and true will put you in positive state of mind. Follow these 4 simple steps and you will become totally positive in your outlook. First is change focus and look for the positive. Let's start looking for what is right in the present situation instead of looking what is wrong. Because of our conditioning in the formative years, we are attuned to finding fault and looking for what is wrong that we forget to see the positive picture. There is something positive in every situation. Every negativity has some positivity in it. Sometimes we have to dig deep to look for the positive because it may not be apparent at all. Because in the present situation, if I tell you that there is some positive thing, you may not believe it. But let me suggest to you that if you dig deep, you will certainly find something positive now also. The second is develop an attitude of gratitude. That simply means count on your blessings and not your troubles. There is a lot to be thankful for. What I suggest is take a paper and a pen, sit down and write down all the things for which you should be grateful to the God. And I can assure you, when you start writing, you will find many things. And I will not be surprised if you take one more sheet of paper. The third thing is build a positive self-esteem. Self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. When we feel well within ourselves, the things look brighter. There is a direct correlation between feeling and the behavior. And if you want to feel positive and if you want to increase your self-esteem quickly, then I suggest to you a very good method, and which is one of the fastest way to develop your self-esteem or to increase your self-esteem. Go to your neighbor or you go to somebody who is in need. Especially in this type of circumstances, there may be someone who is hungry. There may be senior citizen, elder people who may be looking for something, so for somebody to get them medicines. Go and do that. And I can assure you, within few minutes, your self-esteem will go up and you will have positive frame of mind. And the last but not the least is start your day with a positive frame of mind. After a good night's sleep, we are relaxed and our subconscious mind is at the topmost of the in the receptive mood. Read or listen something very, very positive. First thing in the morning. And I suggest that you read a book by Napoleon Hill, 52 Lessons. If you read one lesson every day in the morning, I can assure you, you will have very, very positive attitude and whole day start thinking about that lesson. It will improve your life. It sets the tone for the day and put us in the right frame of mind to make every day a positive day. Practice having a positive thought until they become your habit. In the end, as regard the positive attitude is concerned, positive attitude gives you hope, positive attitude reassures you, positive attitude makes you see things brighter in spite of the darkness, and if you are a positive personality temperament or positive personality trait, then you will always see the brighter side of life. Next, we move to the analytical aspect. In that, I suggest that you please carry out the SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis is a planning tool to understand our strength, our weaknesses, our opportunities and threat which we are facing as an individual. Now, present crisis is very serious and has affected every strata of society. Each individual, now I'll be talking about only about the student, be a student or unemployed youth or person who is already on the job, must carry out SWOT analysis if they want to get a job or if they want to continue to stay in a job. Now, how to do it? It is a very, very simple. The word may seem very difficult, but it is very simple. Sit down with a paper and pen, be patient, open-minded and analytical. All those who can understand Hindi well, it is Vishleshanatmak. You become Vishleshanatmak of yourself without any bias. Now ask certain questions and write down the answers very, very deliberately without any bias. First, we will take the strength part. आपकी ताकत, आपकी क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं जो आपके अंदर confidence देंगी. Firstly, what advantages do you have that others don't have? See yourself. You will be able to find out. They can be your education qualification, they can be your skills, they can be your certification, they can be your networking, they can be your experience. So all those things please identify and you will be able to find out what are the advantages which you have where the others don't have. Now, as far as the skills are concerned, you may have a good communication skills or you may have other good employability skills. So that is number one. Number two, what all you can do or you do better than others. Find out. There may be many things which you are good at, which you can do better than others. Please identify those things. Third is what all others see and accept as your strength. Sometimes we are not even aware what our strong points are. We can ask our parents, we can ask our teachers, we can ask even our friends. They will be able to tell us what are our strengths. And lastly, you must be proud of your achievements. Now you all are more than 18 years old, some may be 21, 22. In these last 20 years, there have been something for which you should be proud of. They may not be certificates, they may not be medals, but there must be something which you have done for the society, for the community, for your neighbors, or even for your friends. You should be proud of that and please note down that. Because once you start doing that, your self-esteem will automatically go up. Now I come to the minuses, that is your weaknesses. Now ask these questions. First of all, which are the tasks you usually avoid because you don't feel confident or you don't feel comfortable? Sometimes, like if I ask you to speak in front of everyone, you may not be able to do that. So that is your weakness. The second is, what are your weaknesses or development areas that are mentioned or pointed out by your friends, by others? Your parents may be telling you what all the weaknesses you have. Your teachers may have told you. And there may be friends also who may have told you that you have certain weaknesses. Third point is, how confident are you about your education, your skill and your competency? If not, then which are the areas which you want to develop? Please write down that. I don't think there will be any difficulty in identifying those. And last is, what are your negative habits? We all have negative habits. We have all learned these negative habits. We were not born with the negative habits. So these negative habits could be that you are not very punctual, you go late, you are ill organized, you are short tempered, you are foul mouthed, or you are not able to bear this stress, or you are not able to face this stress. So these are your negative habits. Please identify them. Once you have identified your strong points and your weak points, now we come to the opportunities. Now, opportunities in the present situation of this lockdown of this COVID-19. Now, these are the opportunities which you must find out. What are the opportunities which are available to you with your strengths and weaknesses which you must take care of? Then any unique quality which you have, which you can use in this crisis. And thirdly, how can you use your strength in this present crisis? So these are your opportunities. Now I come to the last thing, that is the threat. Now in this situation, there are a number of threats which you may be facing. Now these could be, there must be some hindrances which are there on your way to improve your weaknesses. Your world is changing. Your job world is changing certainly. You may be mechanical engineers, you may be chemical engineer. You must identify which are the sectors which are affected the most during this lockdown, or which are going to get affected later on, or which are going to take a lot of time to revive back. You must identify those. And during this period, when you know that you will not be able to do job, then what all you should do so that you make yourself successful and you can face this crisis. So these were the 4 things which are carried out in SWOT analysis. Your strength, आपकी ताकतें, your weaknesses, आपकी कमजोरी, your opportunities, जो मौके आपको मिल रहे हैं, और your threats, जो आपकी परेशानियां हैं इस COVID-19 की वजह से और लॉकडाउन की वजह से. Now let me summarize what all I have told you so far. Firstly, let us face it that this COVID-19 is going to stay, and is going to stay for some time. And as far the economic conditions are concerned, it's going to stay for 2 years, for 3 years. We don't know how much time will it take for the economy to revive back. And once the economy revives back, then only the employment sector will open up, and only then the employment opportunities will increase. Number 2, as a student, you must have your positive frame of mind, which I have told you. The 4 things which are very, very simple. Stay focused, look for positive. Number 2, be grateful to the Almighty for whatever they have given you. Number 3, you must get up in the morning and have something, read something or listen something positive. And last is increase your self-esteem. And the simple way I told you is do something for someone. Now we come to the SWOT analysis. What I have told you is identify your strength and try to figure out how can you capitalize on this strength during this COVID crisis. Remove your weaknesses. How do you remove your weaknesses? Firstly, by learning more skills. These could be employability skills. Number 2 is, because once you learn employability skills, you will be able to do better than your peers and your competitors. Because the jobs are limited, the competition will be more. The employer will be looking for people, for the students, for the candidates who have more employability skills. Secondly, do some online certification course once you have created, once you have identified the opportunities and the threats. And thirdly, which is very, very easy and you must make full use of this time, is get rid of your negative habits. Since these habits were learned, so they can be unlearned. Only thing is, it will require some time. In the last, I just want to mention, this is not the first time this crisis has come to hunt the mankind. There has been a lot of such crises earlier also. This is actually the time to shine and become great. Do it. All the best, and just remember, you are not alone. In the next talk, I will be covering what all employers are looking for in their prospective employee, in the candidates. Tomorrow you go for interview, you must know what all your employer will be looking in you. So once you identify those, then please make use of this time to improve on those. Thank you very much. All the best.